Hey everyone, before I get started, I just want to remind you that if you like my content, hit that like button, subscribe to my channel, and then join the Militia Man and Crew Patreon community by clicking the link in the caption. Hey, good evening everybody, Militia Man and Crew. I just want to say thank you for being with Patreon, thank you for being in Discord, and thank you for following me on YouTube. I appreciate that from everybody. Hey, if you guys start your morning out with a good cup of coffee, you guys, hey, Freedom Forge Coffee has numerous blends. I have a couple of favorites, but you guys decide. Grab a subscription, get them all, try them, enjoy them. They're mold-free. They've added a few tinctures to their site. There's one called Catalyst and one called Acuity. One's for focus, one's for well-being. Yeah, give it a shot, give it a try, see if you like it, and enjoy. But don't forget, Militia Man 5 gets you guys a discount. So come check it out. Hey, good evening, everybody. Militia Man and Crew. I hope everybody had a good, happy Easter weekend and Passover. I hope that was a beautiful and wonderful day for everybody. But I want to get started tonight. A couple days ago, early 2 days ago, but Al Nasuri has an article. He comes out and says, he affirms that the central bank's approach to banking reform and development contributes to accelerating Iraq's accession to the World Trade Organization. We went over this a long time ago, but again, Iraq hasn't had full accession yet, and we always believe that they won't have it quite yet until they are fully international. But the point is that Iraq is showing that they are doing and ready to go with what they have been doing. And the news is really exciting because it actually supports all of that. And it's just a reflection of the quality of information that we bring in. Super Samson, Newshound, been at this for, let's call it a decade. Maybe more than that. But ultimately, she and I and the crew, even Gigi and Pompey, Peter, Petra, everybody, and dear Brian, he does our spiritual scriptures for us every day. And the cool part about that is all of us have a relationship, and it's a good foundation. That is because we all have similarities, and we work to help people. So that's what Militia Man and Crew are about: helping, bringing hope, and giving as accurate information as we can get. There's a lot of fake news out there. We try to decipher it, and we've even seen it today. One article I'm going to leave completely 100% alone because it's utter nonsense. And it comes from United States mainstream media. They should know better, but they don't, but they keep doing it. But that's okay. We're going to leave that alone. Okay, this article talks about during his participation in specialized workshops. So it's one regarding the World Trade Organization. But he stresses the role of the banking sector in contributing to accelerating the organization, an important role for financial and banking sectors. He says he referred to the verification of the 23 and 24 of the procedures carried out by the central bank, cooperation with the government, so that, independent bank, but yet in cooperation with the government, with regard to the regulation of foreign trade financing, and the electronic platform, and work directly between banks and international correspondent banks based on the approved reform and development methodology. Official data and monetary policy indicators from 2024 and planned for 25 and 26 in cooperation with the international consulting companies specialized in this field. He says compliance with financial globalization and international standards adopted in the member states of the World Trade Organization. So Iraq they're ready to make the next move. Basically, I think it's highly likely that Iraq would not ever have a session without having a real effective exchange rate with an international compliant currency. I just don't see that ever happening, because if they were going to do that, they would have probably already have done it, but they haven't yet. And that is a key component, and they haven't exposed Article 12 to Paragraph C of the 2024 budget yet. And I think we all should believe, well, at least I do, that it is exchange rate related. But it's interesting that they bring this up now, and they're talking about specialized companies that are coming into Iraq. They're talking about five-star hotels, in the green zone. I mean, they're talking about all kinds of things. What do? They modernized the borders. Surely they have the Escada system. They've modernized their banking and financial systems. They have new technologies that are going to pave the way. They've done all that. Okay, so that's good. So we're going to see how this plays out, because now they're talking about international companies coming in. And this one is because here it says more than 10 international companies are ready to implement the Baghdad Ring. That's a road project within the Development Road Project. It says the Ministry of Construction, Housing and Public Municipalities. His name is Rakhani. So anyway, the Ministry of Housing and the Municipalities, this gentleman Rakhani, it says the Ring Road is a project of the postponed projects, but it is ready. It says the two sections of the road opening have been referred to the Hammurabi and Ashur companies. Now, I haven't heard of the Hammurabi, but I've heard of the Ashur companies. And they're currently working on this at this time. It says the third section is ready for implementation, and we are awaiting the 2025 schedules to include it. Really? Okay, so in other words, I just got through telling you the 23-24 budget, the tables haven't been exposed yet. And they won't, because we all know that they have to expose it before they can even give it to the Parliament, etc., for 2025. So these guys are, the contractors, etc., are waiting for, in my view, they're waiting for an exchange rate. We'll see how that turns out. Okay, it says we've begun qualifying companies and now they are ready. So they already began qualifying companies. There are 10 of them. 10 international companies are interested in implementing the road, which will be the largest and most beautiful project in Baghdad. So here again, what I believe is they're waiting for the exposure of the 23-24 budget schedules that will likely include what? 12, 2, paragraph C, and why? Because it has an exchange rate orientation. That's how I look at it anyway. So in this article, it's First Deputy Speaker of Parliament, Mandelawi, affirms on Monday the legislative authority is keen to support economic developments. So everybody's working to economic developments in the country by strengthening the state's cooperation with reputable international companies. So today, this gentleman talked with the president of the British Petroleum Company. Then they talked about strategic projects. They talked about developing the oil and energy sector in Iraq. They were examining obstacles facing international companies to overcome them with relevant authority. And a quote in here is really there's two of them. It says, the legislative authority is keen to support the country's economic development efforts by strengthening the state's cooperation with reputable international companies, providing further facilities to create an encouraging and stable investment environment. So you're going to be hearing all of this. They're using it constantly. Stable, sustainability, security, all of those things. It says the importance of transferring international technology and expertise to national cadres to the country, right? Providing training programs that contribute to raising the empowering local competencies for the local people, and participating in the development of infrastructure projects related to the energy sector, such as pipelines and refineries to achieve sustainable development. Like I just said, I don't know if you guys realize this, but pipelines are expensive. Refineries are very expensive. And what are they doing all this for? Well, they're going to do it to sustain the development projects. It's that easy. So Mandelawi, once again, he's talking to who? He's talking to Kuwait, the neighbor. It says, Mandelawi to Kuwaiti delegation, it says, the new Iraq opens up positively to its Arab surroundings. It goes on and says, the new Iraq is opening up. So when we talk about Iraq's opening up to the world, here they are telling you specifically that that's what he's talking about. The new Iraq is opening up with a positive spirit to its Arab surroundings, which is all the region, and is striving to build strong partnerships based on deep societal, cultural, and human ties between peoples, okay, in a way that enhances common interests and serves the aspirations of future generations. So they're not just talking about the Iraqis, they're talking about the region and helps serving aspirations of future generations. The current phase requires redoubling efforts to enhance popular and social communication. It says they stress that the strength of relations between the countries is not measured only by political agreements, but by the strength of the human and social ties that people create through direct communication and constructive cooperation. So anyway, that's some of the information that you get from the gentleman from Iraq, Mandalawi, and with Kuwait. Okay, interestingly enough, you guys, we've probably seen this for well over a year or more, but they've had a focus. But here they're saying that the Iraqi Airways it's completed the fourth phase of its management development program in cooperation with the IATA. It says the completion of the fourth phase of the management development program, which is being implemented now, I guess, under the supervision of the Ministry of Transport. His name is Al-Sadawi, in cooperation with experts from the International Air Transport Association, that's what IATA stands for, as part of the ongoing relentless efforts to obtain the International Operational Safety Audit Certification. They call that the IOSA. So that's a pretty big statement. They're talking about implementation, and they've had relentless efforts to obtain it. So this guy points out, Mandalawi, points out that obtaining the IOSA certification is considered an internationally recognized standard for evaluating the management and operational control systems of airlines. Everybody wants a safe airline, everybody wants comfortable transport, and everybody wants safety. That's what this is all about. And think about all the countries that are going to be traveling into Iraq. They're going to want quality because they're going to be spending a lot of money. That single window, those guys have $250 million or more to be even invested with that single window. That's a lot of money. They're going to like to have some comfort. Well, don't we all, though? Okay. It says it's hoped that this will contribute to enhancing the confidence of travelers and international partners in the performance of the Greenbird, which is the airline, and pave the way for taking the most important step of lifting the European ban and opening new horizons of joint cooperation to develop aviation sector in Iraq and achieve sustainable development. So they're hammering home sustainable development. In my view, it looks like it's been a hard road to work for the IOSA certification. Iraq is likely will get it, as far as I can tell. Look, as we all know, international travelers will like those things that I already mentioned. They're going to need safe, comfortable, and reliable travel. We're talking about an international situation here. They're going to want that. And hey, Iraq having an airline that is quality, safe, reliable, is really important for international trade. And it's a symbol for the country of Iraq. So take it seriously because it is a big deal. And they've worked relentlessly, and I wish them the best because I think they're going to do really well. And obviously we're seeing this now in the fourth phase, and they're talking about completion. I don't know if there's 5 phases, 6 phases, or 100, but I don't think so. I have a good, strong feeling that the fourth phase is probably kind of like ending a year, the last quarter. It's game time. Here's an article by Mr. Al-Hakim. He praises the great security achievements and calls for the need to improve the work of the Interior Ministry. So when we're talking about security, we talked about sustainability, we talked about development, all of those things. Here he's talking about the security achievements. The head of the National State Forces Alliance, Mr. Amar Al-Hakim, praised the major security achievements announced by the Ministry of Interior in its summary for the first quarter of this year, in which it confirmed a qualitative improvement in the performance of its various departments, describing the security situation as the best since 2003. So it's right now, the situation is better than it's ever been for 22 years. That's big. The exceptional efforts of the ministry's leaders and employees for a secure, stable, and prosperous Iraq. So they're not only talking about the people that are going to be traveling, but they're talking about the performance of departments and describing the security situation as the best since 2003. I know it's the Ministry of Interior, but people are going to be traveling into the country. It says the need to advance the ministry's work and exert greater efforts to serve the nation and its citizens, monitor the performance of all departments, and address the problems with this vital institution. May the watchful eyes of Iraq be blessed, and this came out today. I believe that Iraq has done nothing less than qualitative achievements in her security, stability, and on many fronts for the last 20 years. She's opening up to the world. She said so. She's basically talking about opening to the world, into the region, to the Arab world. And she's doing this right before our eyes. Iraq will need to move into the international financial system, and it's very clear that that is what we're experiencing. I think that what we're seeing in these few brief articles that I brought up today is that security, sustainability, safety, all those things mixed in. And what are they doing? They're going to be doing international trade with international partners, and they're setting the stage so that they show that they're ready. They mentioned at the very beginning working with the WTO again. And that is fascinating because it's the timing mechanism as far as I can tell. And so Iraq is showing that she's ready. And international organizations are accepting that she's ready. So now it's come down to, is it a timing issue for an international interconnectivity because of all the different regions that are going to be involved? It's going to be a powerful time frame for a lot of people. I think it's going to be a powerful time frame. It's going to have an impact that will be known around the world. And it's not only about Iraq, it's going to be about a lot of different entities in the world. So thank you for being with me. I hope you guys enjoy my content. And if you do, please hit that like button and subscribe. And thank you again, everybody, for your support, because it really truly helps us keep this rolling. And there'll be more into the future. PayPal, Zelle, Venmo, all can be found in the details. Thank you guys very much and have a great day. Once again, guys, don't forget to hit that like button if you like this content, subscribe to the channel, or join us at the Militia Man and Crew Patreon community for even more exclusive content. You can also donate to this channel by hitting the links in the banner to help keep this page up and running. Your generous support is greatly appreciated as always. Much, much appreciated. Thank you so much and have a great day.